Awesome. All right, so getting yourself nice and comfortable, and thanks for anybody watching online. Just always know that you can stop and come into child's pose if it gets too hectic anytime you like. It really doesn't matter. Be comfortable. All right, so just finding your seat, closing your eyes so that you can get a good sense of how you are sitting in your body. When we close down one of the senses, we get much deeper into the other senses, so we can really kind of sense, where are your tight parts? What can you let go of? Where can you soften? What might be troubling you? What can you bring into your awareness throughout the practice? Yeah, and with your eyes closed, just starting to move a little bit in circles. So imagining that your spine is like a central pole, if you like, and you're kind of spiraling around that center piece. And notice as you get into your circles how they start to build momentum, and really there's no effort required when you get that momentum to take you on these little circles. But also, tucking your chin into your chest occasionally, shrugging your shoulders occasionally, so that you can really breathe into all those tight parts of your spine. And if you're going around in circles, swap the direction, go the other way. And then just coming back into stillness. Just rocking back into that still place. Dropping your right hand to the floor, just opening up your eyes. Inhale your left arm up. Reach up to the sky first, and then let yourself just come over this side. So you get as much length as you can before you come over. And then inhale, coming back up. Fall over the other side. Exhale. Then let this top arm come down towards the floor, just to let it fall down. And then just walk your hands over, kind of into the center-ish, and have them quite wide, so wider than your mat here. And then take a nice breath in first, and then feel like you're really sort of sticking your bottom out behind you to get that length kind of from the hips, slowly sinking down. It doesn't matter how low you go, just allow yourself to soften here. Just relax your arms, relax your feet, just nice and heavy, breathing into that space. And then gently walking the hands back into the center, and then behind you, fingers pointing forward, and then start to squeeze your shoulder blades together so you can kind of feel the upper chest opening up a little bit. And a bit of pressure on the hands, and if the bottom comes up a little bit, great. If it goes a little bit higher, great. If your knees are okay, you can go for that. If it feels alright, just kind of breathing into whatever is alright. Expanding through the belly. And then just let yourself come back down. All right, I'm going to come up onto all fours, so finding the best way to get there for you, just be comfortable. There's no special way to get up to all fours, so shimmy around. And try and get our hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath your hips, and just let the hips sway side to side, so that one knee lifts off the floor when you get to one side and the other side. Let that be natural though. Try not to go and lift the knee up, just let the knee lift as you sink to one side. Allowing that natural movement. Yeah, and then start to tuck one toe in. Like when you lift up the knee, let that be the toe you're tucking first. Keep the toes on the floor. And then rock the other side, and then the other toes come onto the floor. So you're kind of like easing back now to your down dog. Just drive yourself back. Nice and good. Yeah, breathing to this first down dog. So a bit of pressure in the heels of your hands. Bend your knees a bit, so you're thinking about the chest coming towards your thighs. So really pressing to the heels of the hands so you can feel the armpits getting longer, and then the fingertips are just light. Yeah, legs up all the way back. Great. All right, and from here, we're going to come forward into a high plank. But to do that, tuck your chin into your chest and kind of roll through the shoulders. Until you come forward, the shoulders will be over the wrists. Yeah, you're kind of in this kind of lifted plank. Your hips are a bit higher. And then push yourself all the way back into your down dog. So push the floor away with your hands and drive yourself back. Exhale here. Let's come forward again. Shift to chest. Inhale, lean forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, push the floor away. Come back. One more. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, coming forward. If you want to drop the knees down now, or elbows back behind you and slowly lower down to the belly. Yeah, let your toes go flat. Take a nice inhale here and slowly peel yourself off the floor, pushing your hands into the floor so you're a nice kind of open up dog. Looking over one shoulder maybe, and then the other shoulder. We'll take it back into a child's pose. So get the knees nice and wide, the toes together. Round your lower back as you come back into a child's pose. Yeah. Breathing here, nice and deep, in between the shoulders. One more breath in and out here. And then your next inhale, back up onto all fours. Wait until your shoulders are over the wrists, then tuck your toes in and just flip the heels away. And the knees will lift up into your back and then down, stretch it back. Great, and all the way come onto your left foot, lift up your right leg, and don't even think about where it's going next. Just enjoy that kind of lift, that stretch. Feel the stretch of the left hamstring, left calf. Yeah, and then come right up onto the left toes, so the hips come really, really high. And then just step that right foot forward in between your hands. So take your time getting it there. Yeah, you kind of drag it forward. And then look forward. So you get your balance at the center, bend back, you look forward, and then just push to your feet. You lift yourself up, inhale here. And then exhaling all the way to the floor. Step it back, that right foot back into the plank. And then you can either take the knees down or just lower down. Awesome, nice and strong. Inhale here. Straight into a child's pose, knees wide, toes together, rounding back into a child's pose. Take one full breath in, and one full breath out. Your next inhale, coming back up onto all fours, shoulders over the wrists, tuck the toes under. Exhale back into down dog. Once you're there, weight on the right foot, lift up your left leg. Take it up nice and high. Don't think about what's coming next. Just feel that on the right calf, the right hamstring. And then come right onto your toes. The hips are super high. And then when you're ready, on the out breath, step your left foot forward in between your hands. That's it, yeah. And then look for bend back knees. So you're stable on both feet. Looking forward, then lift yourself up, push the floor away. Inhale up, you can stretch your out everyone, and then exhale, soften all the way to the floor, step the left foot back, high plank, vinyasa to the floor, exhale. We're going to go back into a down dog though, so inhale, coming to cobra, see if you can roll over your toes. If your toes are flat, try to get your toes flat, and then lift up your knees, and then see if you can roll over the toes into your down dog. It takes a lot of practice, but yeah. Awesome. All right. So from here, we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands. So really slowly, step by step, inch by inch, until you get to the top edge. When you're almost at the top, make sure your hands are about a foot away from your toes. So you get this nice long tabletop back. Now I'm going to bend the left knee and lift the right arm up to the ceiling, nice and tall. Yeah, take an inhale first. As you breathe out, bend the right knee, bring the right hand down to the floor. Inhale, left arm goes up. Take another inhale first. That's all right. Go ahead of me. Exhale, bring it down. We're going to do an extra bit on the other side. So bend the left knee, inhale the right arm up. Now, press on the feet. Keep looking up at the right hand. It brings up all the way back up. So the right hand drops, the left hand comes right over that right shoulder. A little bit of a twist. And then coming all the way back, bend the right knee, cartwheel the hands down to the floor. We're going to do the same on the other side. So bend your right knee, inhale your left arm up, and then push on the feet, lift yourself all the way up, keep your hands where they are. That's it. And then you just tilt back, looking over that left shoulder. And then all the way back down towards the floor. Yeah. Now once you're here, take hold of your elbows and let yourself lengthen from your armpits. So the weight on the elbows, drawing yourself longer into that. Let your head go as well. Doing some yeses and nos. Breathing into that nice open chest. A little bit of sway, side to side can feel really nice. And then we're going to let the fingers drop to the floor. So you start to sweep around the feet a little bit. And when you get to the right corner, just the fingertips on the floor, weight on the right foot, lift up your left leg behind you. Don't worry about how high it is or where it goes, it doesn't matter. You're going to drop it down behind, coming into your present lunge. So drop the left foot back behind you. That's it. Yeah. Keep your left fingertips on the floor and then lift up your right hand. So left fingertips down, right hand up. Yeah, really nice and open here. Keep lifting up the hips so it's nicely lifted. Now bring the right fingertips down to the floor, so both hands on the floor, and then draw the right foot, hip back so you can stretch out that hamstring on the right leg. So try and get the right leg straight. Just hanging over. Feeling it. Alright, now I'm going to bend the front knee. Take both hands flat on the mat, step the right foot back into your plank. Coming through your vinyasa, so exhale down to the floor. Nice and strong. Inhale, lifting yourself up, pushing forward, rolling over the toes or tucking them under, doesn't matter. Exhale back into your down dog, stretching it out. Every time you come into your down dog, keep pressing to the heels of your hands, you draw the body back, away from the hands, so that all the weight is coming back towards your feet as opposed to your hands. That's the idea. Alright, so we're going to walk the feet towards the hands again, so just slowly walking them forward, noticing how it feels each time, tighten the hamstrings and go. Yeah, and from here, slowly I'm coming up to standing, so take it really slowly, bending the knees, head comes up last, rolling through the shoulders, let the shoulders drop behind. Nice inhale here, lifting yourself all the way up. And then exhale, just fall down one side. So just kind of ragdoll down one side. Now let the fingertips sweep over to the left hand corner. So these fingertips are just for balance, really, not much weight on them. And lift up your right leg behind you. Just let that go anywhere it wants to go. And then drop it behind, coming to the present lunge. Yeah. Keep your right fingertips on the floor. Lift up your left hand. So keep the hips nice and hard. Good. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then bring the left fingertips down to the floor. Keep your hips high, just draw your left hip back to straighten the left leg. Yeah, so you finish strong on the hamstring. Breathe into that space. And then bend the front knee. Get both hands on the floor, step it back into your high plank again. And then exhale down towards the floor. Inhale in here. Let's take a child's pose, knees wide, toes together. Go round your lower back as you ease back into that child's pose. Really feel the length. And then your next inhale, just lift up your head and sweep your hands towards your knees. So you come up to kneeling. Yeah, that's right. Oh, head rushing right in. So leaning onto the left knee, just set your right foot forward. It's quite a long way forward, further than you think you would normally. And then sink into it. So you start to feel this psoas muscle getting really stretchy or tight. It will feel really tight. It's nice to take the forearms on the thigh and do that. A little bit of movement, maybe if the hands come down to the floor, great, because then you can have a little bit of a sway side to side. So you're easing yourself into that space rather than jarring. All right, I'm going to take the left hand off the mat to the side and let your right foot open up so you can see the sole of the foot. And then draw that left shoulder in towards the mat, and your right hand can Just rest above your right knee or your inner thigh and then look over that right shoulder. So you start to feel like it's stretching over your left hip or left glute. Make sure you're still breathing normally. And just ease yourself back to the center. Now take the sole of the foot down, both hands either side, and then walk your right foot over to the left side of your mat. Take your right hand flat on the mat, floor, and then let that right hand come down. Great. And then we can just try and turn the torso over this right knee, this right thigh, and then walk your hands in a kind of diagonal forward to get the chest on top of that right thigh. So you feel it in this open pigeon. See where you can soften. What are you hanging on to? Are you blocking your left knee or is that soft? Can I let it go? Breathing into the space and also noticing your breath. If your breath is relaxed, then that's all good. If it feels a bit tense or you're holding it, then maybe kind of back up a little bit. So if it feels too strong, you can always bring that right heel in towards your groin a bit. Taking one more breath on this side. And then gently push the floor away. Bring yourself up a little bit. Take the hands on the floor. And then tuck the back toes under. We're going to lift that right foot back into the plank from here. Yeah, awesome. Great. And then drop the knees down. Walk the hands in towards your knees so you come back up to your side. Awesome. And this left foot's going to step right out in front. So again, a nice long way forward so that you can sink into that. Also, the further forward it is, the lower you are to the floor, which helps get the hands down a bit. So it's a win-win. Yeah, so moving side to side a little bit, so easing into the hip, psoas muscle. So noticing how tight that can feel. Yeah, and when you've done a few sways like this, just take your right hand off the mat. So the weight's on your right hand. Open up the sole of the left foot so you can see it. And then your left hand just goes inside that left hand. So your right hand down. That's it. Yes. And then draw the right shoulder forward so you can look over your left. Draw the right shoulder in. That's it. Yeah. Breathe into that space. Allowing your belly breath if you can. And then gently just returning back to center. The sole of the left foot comes down and then you walk the left foot over to the right side of your mat. And then the left hand comes out to the side flat and then you do that all the way onto it. Awesome. And then start to rotate the torso a little bit first towards that left thigh. And then walk the hands diagonally in that left corner. It's comfortable for you. Feeling that left glute tight. That's kind of where you should be feeling it. You probably are. So breathing into that space. Trying not to let any tightness take over in any other parts of the body. Shoulders and knees. One more breath in and out here. And then gently push the floor away to bring yourself back up. Maybe bring this heel in a little bit to make it easier. Both hands on the floor, tuck the right toes under, and then push the floor away so you can lift up your body to take that left foot back into your plank. Awesome, very ready. Then the elbows back, exhale to the floor. Inhaling, you're going to kind of jump up, to a down dog. So from here, just tuck your toes under, push the heels away, lift up the knees, and then slowly push into the hands and raise up all the way back. Keep thinking about the body moving back towards the thighs. That means a bend knee and bend your knees. One more breath in and out here. All right, weight on the left foot. You can have your right leg up behind you. You can ride onto your left toes and exhale. Step the right foot forward in between your hands again. That's it. Nice, look forward, get balance, push the floor away with your feet, inhale, it up. Exhale, just relaxing, softening here. Inhale it up again. One little twist to the right as you exhale. Back to the center, inhaling. Left heel down, exhale, warrior two. So the front knee's bent, as if back leg straightish. And then you have the middle finger of your right hand. Yeah. Flip that right hand, inhale draws you back. And feel that lengthen first of all. Get a nice comfortable length here. Yeah, and then slowly forearm on the thigh, top up over the ear. One more coming back and forward. So press on the right foot. Inhale lifts you back up. So reverse warrior. Exhale takes you back down. Nice. Now bring that left hand all the way to the floor. Pivot onto your left toes. And then lift up your right hand. Get nice and open. Really nice and good. And then bring your right hand down to the floor, step your right foot back, and through your vinyasa again. Exhaling to the floor. Inhaling here. Back into our down dog, tuck the toes under, exhale back into your down. Just doing a couple of breaths here. And on your next inhale, lifting up your left leg, take that nice and high, right onto your right toes, get lift first, and then exhale, stepping through. Beautiful. Then back knee look forward, inhale, lifts you up. And then just relax it on the out breath. Just go over melting. And again, inhale, lift you up. Exhale, twist to the left. Back to the center, inhale. Exhale, right heel down, warrior two. So front knee's bent, back leg straightish. You better knee them, doesn't matter. Flip the front palm, inhale takes you back. So allow yourself to get sit back. And then exhale, forearm on the thigh, top up over the ear. So really pressing into the outer edge of your right foot, right into your fingertips. Feel like length, reaching. Yeah. Then we'll reverse it again. So press on your left foot to lift yourself up, reversing it. Exhale, forearm on the thigh. Right hand all the way down to the floor. Step that left foot back into your plank. And then exhale to your more. Inhaling here. Back in the down dog again. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, back into your down dog. Taking a moment here just to feel it, bring the hips sway a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to take the another little vinyasa, but the idea that I talked about before about the handstand, again, you can just chuck it in every now and then. So if you take the weight onto your left foot, lift up your right leg, bend the left knee, and come up onto the left toes, and all it is a little hop, doesn't have to be much. If you feel like it, just a little hop. Yeah. And then you step the right foot forward. Whenever you're ready. So it's always there, whenever you want to try it. Then the left knee, press the floor away, inhale as you up. Exhale, twist to the right, but hold it here for a moment. So really squeeze your shoulder blades together. Drop the right hand, inhale your left arm up. And then exhale, forearm, elbow over that right thigh, bringing your hands together if that feels nice. Yeah. So maybe you can press that left elbow against the right thigh to turn a little bit. Maybe looking over the right shoulder. But make sure you're still breathing. If not, just lift yourself up a little bit. One more breath here. And then look to the front, inhale, lift you up. Left heel down again, warrior two. Flip the front palm. Inhale takes you back. So when you go back, you might want to straighten the front leg this time, so you get a nice, even longer length here. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand forward, reach, create a triangle right hand. So it's either on your shin, or if it's on the floor in front, behind, wherever it is right for you. And then we'll draw that left arm back. So if you can pin your body open, left arm goes up to the sky. Nice and deep. Breathing nice and deep. Now bring the top arm up and over your ear. Get nice and long with that left arm. Great. Now bring it all the way down to the floor. That left fingertips come down to the floor, just off the side of your mat. So if you need to bend the right knee, bend it. But see if you can lift up your right hand. So it's a reverse triangle, and you really feel it in your hammies. That's awesome. Really nice to see. Yeah, breathe here. Now keep your left fingertips where they are, and just take your right toes into the center of your left side of your mat. That's it. And then bring the right hand over. It crosses over that arm. It's a bit like Twister, isn't it? A bit crazy. So your right arm is crossed over your left elbow, and you're going to lift the hands off and come into this eagle. And then let your head drop, let your neck get nice and long. And just hang here. So with your elbows crossed over, you can kind of feel a bit of extra stretch over your back ribs. So breathing into that space. Keep your body where it is, but then release your hands and take your hands out to the sides. So you really do feel warm. You can take them right out to the sides. Yeah, take a nice inhale here. Exhale, come over to your left shin or your left ankle. Just draw yourself towards that. Hugging yourself in there. Nice. And then over to the other leg. Spinning over to that side. Great, now stay on your right foot and take your fingertips either side of that right foot. So just coming to the front of your mat again, really. So both fingertips are there. And then you've got to turn your right foot to face the front. So turn your right foot. Come onto your back toes. So we're kind of getting centralized again. Now take your hands on the floor. You need to bend your knee a bit properly. Now we're going to take this right foot back, but we're going to take it all the way back behind us. So we're going to take it all the way back. That's it, you got it. Easier than you think. Now we're going to come forward. Try and keep the right leg lifted. I know you guys are strong because you've been doing it without your knees. So come forward, shoulders over the wrist, coming to a plank with the right leg lifted. Coming forward into a plank, so legs will come forward, that's it. And then see if you can lower, as you did before, with one leg lifted down to the floor. Oh, you guys have done it. That's so good. Let the right leg strong, I know. Let the right leg go. And then take a nice inhale here. Oh, feel that. Knees wide, toes together, rounding through your back. And coming back into child's pose. Nice and easy. Breathing here. Feeling those ribs expand on every inhale, soften on every out breath. One more breath. And then your next inhale, looking forward. Always sort of finding the way that you're going, the direction you're going. So looking forward, inhale, looking forward, shoulders over the wrist, tuck the toes under. Let's be back and up, down, down. Stretching back. Just letting those hips sway side to side, letting things nice and easy. If it needs to bend, you need to take those legs for a little bit of a walk in your down dog. Easing into those hammies. Yeah, and then we're going to take that left foot up. So again, just like on the other side, if you wanted to try, bend your right knee, come onto your right toes, and you just let the motion rock as opposed to kick. You're just going to rock forward if you want to come into little hops. Yeah. When you're ready, you can just step that left foot forward in between your hands. Bend the back knee and then push the floor away. Lift them up. Nice inhale here. Energetic breath, and then exhale, twisting to the left. Yeah. Now drop your left hand. Inhale your right arm up. And then use this then to come over. So the elbow comes against the thigh and kind of pushes against it so that you can turn. Takes a bit of balance. That's it. Yeah. Maybe the hands will come together if they want to. And make sure you're still breathing. If it gets too complex in this, you can always lift yourself up a bit. It doesn't have to be as strong as it doesn't feel right. So long as you can breathe, it's all good. One more breath here. And looking forward, inhale, release the hands up. Right heel down, warrior two. Softly relaxing here, arriving in this kind of soft place as opposed to a rigid place. So we're going to flip the front palm. Inhale takes you back, and as you come back, let that front leg straighten out. Because we're getting ready for our triangle, right? So nice and long here, and then exhale, slowly reach forward with that left hand. So you can't reach any more. Wherever that comes down, it comes down. Right hand lifts up. So reaching for the ceiling with the right hand. Really opening up your wingspan. Try to soften through your knees. Try not to lock your knees up. Yeah. And then from here, bring your right fingertips down to the floor. If you need to bend the left knee, do. Otherwise, left hand goes up. So reverse triangle. So a really nice stretch of the hips. You're going to have these. Really into that. And then bring that left hand down. Now get both hands on the mat. Bend your front knee a little bit so you've got a bit of release. Come onto the back toes. I'm going to bring this left foot all the way back behind you. So it just comes all the way back. That's it. You know where this is going. So the best thing is to come forward first, shoulders over the wrists, and then lower down. That's about this legs. I love it. Inhale here. Back into your child's pose, knees wide, rounding through the spine. Exhale. Breathing nice and deep into those shoulders, into those shoulder blades, into those ribs. One more breath here. And gently bring yourself back up, shoulders over the wrist again. Tuck the toes under and back into down dog again. Exhale. Yeah, so from up down dog, we're going to come forward into a high plank. So inhale, come forward and hold your high plank. Now when you're in your high plank, you want to feel like you're pushing the floor away with those hands, and you've got a nice straight line from your wrists right through to your shoulders. So your shoulders are above your wrists. You're going to quite far forward. And then we're going to sway the hips side to side. So it looks like they're going to come off the sides of your mat. And then roll over onto the right so that the left hand lifts up. Yeah. Great. Now we're going to bring the left hand down. Now try and keep your hips nice and high. That's the trick. And then go the other side. That's it. Once you let the hips sink too much, there's a lot of weight to carry. So keep nice and high. Bring the right hand down. We're going to go to the right again, but this time, see if you can set the left foot behind. We come into the side. So the left foot goes behind. Coming to wild thing. Let's see. Right. Yeah, maybe you just take that left foot behind you when you come over to the right hand side. So drop the left foot right here. That's it. That's beautiful. Push the floor away also. Yay. Find the floor with the left hand. Bring yourself back into the center and then sway over to the left and just drop the right foot behind you. Again, pushing the floor away, coming into your wild thing on that side. Nice. Beautiful. Bring the right hand down. Let's see if we can keep the strength and keep that right leg lifted. As you come back down for your plank again. Exhaling to the floor. Awesome. Inhale here. Knees wide, just together, rounding through your spine. Exhale. Back into your child's pose. Nice and easy. Breathing here. So taking a few breaths. Feeling it in your body. Noticing how you are as well, if you feel connected with the breath. We can keep the breath with the movement, it becomes a lot easier. And we'll do a little bit of that just before we come down to the floor again. We'll be breathing with the movement. So we'll do a few concentrated vinyasas. But before we do that, keep your hands out in front, just come right up onto your all fours again. But I have the hands further forward. You can see they're further forward than my shoulders now. Yeah. Great. So we're going to take our little thread the needle thing. So take your right hand underneath your left and travel it all the way through as far as it will go until the right shoulder comes down. Yes. Side of the head comes to the floor. Beautiful. The left hand can come up to the ceiling maybe, if it feels right. You can even try bending your elbow and taking a bit of balance, right? Maybe bend the elbow and take the hand behind you if that feels nice. You can kind of rest on your right thigh or whatever. Yeah. Breathing here. Seeing if you can let go of your inner thigh muscles. See if you can just let yourself surrender into this place. And then find the floor with your left hand, bring it back down again. And then push the floor away with the left hand. So you bring yourself back up. Great. Again, the hands are forward. The reason the hands are forward is it helps keep your hips above your knees. When the hips go back, there's much less space to go underneath. So, yeah, nice and big. Left hand travels all the way through. The left shoulder comes down, side of the head. Maybe the right hand will come up to the ceiling and bend the elbow behind if it feels okay with the balance. If it gets a little bit wobbly, just take your knees slightly wider. And then bring that right hand back down to the floor and bring yourself back up. Let's bring the elbows down to the floor now. So a nice way, we're going to come into the dolphins, a nice way to come into this is to just cup your hands around the elbows. And that just kind of gets you into the right position. That's about as far apart as they should be. And then you can let go of the elbows. Just kind of where they want to be. So you can either have your hands on clasp together or flat together with the thumbs touching. Either way, we're going to just come into the plank first. So just tuck the toes under, lift up the knees and come into a low plank. So you can feel the strength in your shoulders and your elbows. Yeah. Now the same as down dog, when we push into the heels of the hands, I want you to push into your elbows and draw your hips back. Yeah, and then start to walk your feet in. So you're coming from down dog with your elbows on the floor, coming to this dolphin. Yeah, so really feeling the weight on the elbows and notice that when you kind of rock forward and back, how the weight transfers from the elbows closer to the hands. And just kind of really getting a feel for it. And if you're ready to, you feel like you can lift up your right leg, maybe. You can even do a little hop if it feels nice and it doesn't do anything sometimes. Bring that right foot down, maybe lift up your left. If that's too strong, just going to child's pose if it's too much. Now from here, we're going to come into our down dog again. So it's literally pushing the floor away and then just coming back up to the down dog from there. Nice. Great. Now walk your hands towards your feet. So you're coming to the back of your mat. All the way back. It's probably time that we stood up. So from here, I want you to take your hands out to the sides, kind of airplane mode. And then just pivot from your hips. So you inhale, coming all the way. Back, really lift up your hands above your head. Come right up onto your toes. Maybe have the flat hand against the ceiling. Feel like you push your ceiling away. Inhale, all the way up. And as you exhale, drop your heels. Just twist to the right. Nice and open chest. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale the other way. Beautiful. Inhale, coming all the way back up. And as you exhale, coming down the same way you came up. So sticking the bottom out, coming to the airplane mode and slowly falling forward over your feet. Just feeling that hamstring stretch. From here, just feel your fingertips. Just flick your your toes out the sides and come down into a good squat. Bring yourself down, yeah. Now, especially with the heels on the floor, it's nice to have the hands on the fingertips on the floor and then just lift up one side. Don't worry about which arm it is, we can do both arms anyway. Yeah. And then the other side. So it's easy if you stick the elbow inside that thigh, then you can push against it. That's it. Yeah, lift the elbow. Nice. Beautiful. Bring the hand back down. We're going to walk the hands forward and take it back into a down dog. Yes, you're kind of feeling your way around that. Beautiful. All right, so from here, we're going to take the vinyasa into one breath per movement. So it's just going to be one breath per movement. And I'll talk you through it. Not going to do anything too funky. So weight on your left foot. Inhale, your right leg up behind you. Come right up onto your left toes. Exhale, step it in front. Look forward, push the floor away. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, letting go. Inhale, looking up. One twist to the right, exhale. Inhale to the center. Left heel down, exhale, warrior two. Bending the front knee. That's the good front arm. Inhale takes you back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the floor, step it back, all one out breath to the floor. Bring yourself down into your Alright, inhale here. Back in your down dog. Exhale, all the way back. Weight on your right foot, inhale your left leg up. Right up to your right toes, exhale, step it through. Bend that knee, push the floor away, inhale. Exhale, let it go, soften. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, right to the center. Exhale, warrior two. Lift the front palm, inhale, take you back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the floor, step it back, high plank. Down to the floor, nice. Inhale in here. Knees wide, just get an exhale. Child's pose. Yeah. Breathing into the space, nice and deep. One more breath here. And then slowly walk your hands in towards your knees. We're going to come onto our bottoms. So just let your legs come out in front. And we'll take them reasonably wide as you're comfortable. And a little dorsiflex of the feet kind of helps keep them where they are a little bit. Yeah. All right, so we take the right arm, I'll mirror you. So your right arm is my left, your right inside your right leg. Inhale your left arm up. And then exhale, just let yourself come over this side. So this is where sometimes it can feel a little bit strenuous on your neck. And if that feels like it because your head is heavy, you can look down at your right leg. So whatever feels okay, go for that. Let them beyond. Be comfortable with that. One more breath here. And then inhale. Now lift yourself up. This left hand is going to go behind you, fingers pointing away. So get really nice and solid on that hand behind. I'm all the way on it. This is a bit tricky. We normally do it for that leg. I'm just going to see how we go with this. So weight on that back hand. And then push the floor away. Just lift the hips up. So you keep the legs straight. Nice. Awesome. Keep pushing the floor away. Feeling this small triangle. And then gently, see if you can bring the bottom back down. Well done, guys. It's really nice. Beautiful. All right, we'll do the other side. So left arm inside the left leg. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, bringing it over. So just have to feel anything, in any particular pose. Just get the stretch. Maybe close your eyes so you can really feel where it's lengthening. And also notice if your knees feel locked or if you can unlock them. Your head as well. It needs to look down, do that. And then inhale. Lifting it up, this right hand's going to be behind you. You know how this feels now. So nice flat hand. Get it grounded first. So all the weight's on the hand before you even think about lifting yourself up. And then you can use this other hand to sweep up. Push yourself up a little bit. Nice and open. And then gently. Oh, so good. Like synchronized swimming. All right, we're going to bring the feet a little bit closer together, but not fully, just a little bit. So you've got a nice distance between them. And this will feel a little bit easier forward fold-wise than having them really wide. So from here, it's quite a nice place to be kind of in the middle. And feel like you can kind of pull the flesh off your sit bones a little bit. This is where it's quite helpful on a block, but it's also good to try it out. So that you come from this crease in the hips. It always feels like you are sitting on that behind you, rather than letting that tailbone round and pushing it away. And then if your hands do reach your feet, yeah, you can always use that as a little bit of a lever. And the minute you use that as a lever, you can then feel the hamstrings and your bottom kind of sticking up behind you. So that's the kind of feeling that you want to get. And yeah, really good to sway side to side so you're not jarring yourself. And just sort of see how that feels. You might even drop the hands, you can have them inside, whatever it feels, okay. Just try and avoid the tops of your feet because then you're really pulling on the hamstrings. If it's low, if you hold the feet, just keep it lower and then there's no extra stress on your calf muscles or anything like that. So it's really about drawing your chest forward, pushing the bottom back and coming from that hip crease. If you want to drop your head, you can drop your head. It might be that you feel happy with your hands on the outsides of your feet, so you can try that as well, whatever feels better for you. Breathing into that space. And also knowing it's really 1 millimeter at a time, if that. So you've got the rest of your life to get there, don't sort of go over the edge. Breathe into what you can manage. Soften yourself. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Great. Now, again, I'll mirror you. So take your left leg, lift it up, and see if you can bring the heel, well, actually the ankle more, just above the knee, the other leg. And allow this knee to kind of go towards the floor a little bit, and it's not going to go to the floor. But just so you can feel it in your hip, you feel that kind of hip opener happening a little bit here. So you just let that elbow sink in it a little bit. And then slowly come forward, because that's when you start to feel it more. Easing into that space. I know it's not the most comfortable, but it's a good way to open up the hip. Just go slowly. Make sure you're still breathing. And then just gently come back. Yeah, great. Now let that foot come down to the floor. You can bring this foot more into the center if you like. Hands on the floor. But just do a really nice open twist. So bring your left arm inside. Oh, you can go the other way if you like. And your right fingertips behind, and then just open twist. Feel that nice twist through the spine, all the way from the bottom, all the way up to the shoulders. Yeah, and then let's go the other way. Let's turn the other way and see what that feels like. It's a different kind of twist. You'll feel it more in your belly than the upper chest. And then come back into the center. All right, let's swap the legs over. So this leg's going to come down, and this heel. Wherever you feel okay with it, just don't need to be uncomfortable with the heel on your against a funny bone. So find the right place, enough for it to kind of allow your elbow just to sort of sit, a little bit of pressure on that thigh and knee. Okay. think you're in the right place, you can maybe come forward a little bit, a bit more. Finding the edge and breathing into that space. And then gently come back. Let this foot come down to the floor. Starting off with an open twist, so your right arm will come first, fingertips behind. Try not to have a flat hand behind, try to stay nice and long in the spine. Feel that shoulder. And then swapping it over, coming the other way, and noticing how it feels. You've got to get really deep to take the elbow over and then press against it. So then take a further twist. So it's a deeper twist. And then back. Great, release your legs. But from here, see if you can come back, roll all the way back into a little kind of mini shoulder stand. I know you might say the word shoulder stand because you've got these stand on your shoulders. But see if, because we did this kind of leg open thing, see if it feels okay to go like that. See how it goes, right? To kind of shuffle forward so you're not off your mat. But really, I'm not going up too high. I'm just kind of lifting this bit off the floor. And maybe put it to this position. So it's not a big straight shoulders there, it's just easy to go easy with yourself. Whatever works, it doesn't have to be a full wave. It's going to stop halfway at the base. Awesome. Even hopping like that is quite nice. It's just nice to get your kidneys off the floor. So down. Great, and then slowly roll down your spine. We'll take a nice lying twist. So now let your left leg go straight. Right knee stays bent. Take your arms out the side. Just let that right knee roll over the left. Just let it fall. Don't even think about this as a pose. Just let it be one of those surrendering places. So you just let go. I'm going to stay there long because we've already done a couple of twists. So just roll back into your center, but bring both knees with you. And then your right leg goes straight now. Left knee just rolls over the leg. So just swapping it over, feeling any differences, any different sensations in your body. And then rolling back into the center and finding your shavasana. If you feel you want to bring your knees into your chest and lie like that, then that might be a nice way to flatten out your sacrum. Or if you'd rather bring the heels down, do that. Whatever feels good. Where can I let go? How can I let go? What position do I need to be in to release any control of my muscles? So surrendering the practice, surrendering control, surrendering to your breath, to gravity. Just noticing how the body feels, how it recovers. How your breathing is. Noticing any sensations in your body, tingling, maybe in the fingertips. Contact points with the floor, head, feet, shoulders, backs of the hands. And your jawline, relaxing that. Starting to deepen your breath so that you feel your ribcage expanding on the inhale. So starting to wake up your physical body, but keeping the mind nice and calm, still with that sense of surrender. With your next inhale, taking your arms up and over your head and reaching behind you. Stretching your body out. And on your exhale, just draw your knees in towards your chest and rolling to your right hand side. Allowing yourself to fall onto that side, let gravity take you again. Keeping your eyes closed, pushing the floor away to lift yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And again, that same sense of arrival, a little bit different to the beginning of your practice. Just noticing how the body feels. Gently opening the eyes, letting the arms just fall down to the sides. Taking a nice inhale here to wake up the body, stretch the arms right up. Take the hands together at the top, exhale, bring them down. If you want to fold forward, you can. If it feels nice, don't worry. And slowly return.